this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and we are going to look at the new Seraphon coming out. Games Workshop gave me these kits, and I have built them so that you can check them out. And we're going to be looking at assembly options, any issues I had during assembly, and then we're also going to add in at the end the Seraphon from the Seraphon army, so you can get a good idea of scale through the entire army. This is the Saurus Astrolith Bearer, and he has only one way to be built and use all of his pieces. There is a little bit of dubiousness with how his necklace fits over his neck and attaches to the back of his shoulder pad, so I'd suggest attaching this piece first to the necklace piece to help situate the necklace properly. Now everything fits exactly so you will know when you get it in the right spot. Just getting it to the right spot is a little bit tricky, so I don't suggest adding any glue until after you have it in its proper position so you don't accidentally glue it to the wrong part. This is the Skink Starseer, and rules-wise there are no options to choose from, so any choices you make are just for looks. The inside of the ring can look a little smaller, the piece on the side can extend fully to the base or just be a little bit of vine, and the skink on this dais are completely separate models to choose from. One is standing with his hand hovering over an orb attached to the dais, and the other is sitting staring at an orb in his hand. Since these skinks are full models, I intend to make this additional skink a skink Starpriest. I'm going to attach this skink to a 25mm base and leave his hand extended as if he's casting a spell. These 4 models make up the spawn of Chotec. Together they count as one model for game purposes. There are no rules options to choose from, so any choices you make are for looks only. The fire lizard has a couple of ways his neck can be oriented, and he can have its mouth open or closed, and his crown can either be furled outward or more backward. The skinks have different faces to choose which one goes on which body, and different crowns, and you can choose between 2 different standard designs. This is the Saurus Scar-Veteran on Aggradon, and though the guide suggests to build the Saurus attached to the Aggradon, you don't have to. I built him separately, and as you can see with a little maneuvering because of his spear, you can take him off and put him on again, so you can paint the steed and rider separately and then glue them together post-painting. Now he can use a Relic Celestite spear or a Relic Celestite club in game, so you will want to check his rules in your battle tome to see which option you want before assembling him. The Aggradon has only one way to be built, but you have 3 different head options for the Saurus, and I chose the one with the smug smile. Can the head and tail of the Aggradon be switched with the Aggradon Lancers? The tail, no, not really, since it's built very differently, but potentially the head can. As for the Aggradon Lancers, we have a lot of different options to choose from. Each of the heads of the Aggradons can go on any of the bodies, each of the tails can go on any of the bodies, and each of the tail feathers can go on each of the tails. Though it looks like the bodies of the Sauruses are meant for one particular Aggradon body, the Saurus's heads can be for any Saurus body, and there are 2 champion heads to choose from and 6 regular Saurus heads to choose from. Remember, there's only 3 guys. You also have 2 different neck orientations for each Saurus, so you can get multiples of this kit and make them all look different with ease, with the exception of the musician's body, I guess, since there's only one way to build him, and the standard bearer. But you can still make them look unique by having different heads and neck positions on them. 1 in 3 models can be a musician, and 1 in 3 models can be a standard bearer, and 1 model in a unit can be a champion. There is no good reason not to use all 3 of those, since wielding the drums of the standard doesn't make the model unable to attack with the spear or club that you choose to wield. So you have to choose between Celestite spears or Celestite clubs, and all of your models have to wield those same weapons. So in my case, my champion is wielding a Celestite club, and that means it is assumed that my musician and standard bearer are also wielding that. And if I'd made them as regular lancers, they too would have to wield clubs. Could you magnetize the weapon choices? Well, if you kept the musician and the standard in the group, then you'd need only magnetize the champion. And since the weapon choices attach at the wrist with a reasonable amount of surface area of plastic to work with, as long as you're very careful, yes, you could certainly magnetize the weapon options. And lastly, the shields can easily be left off the Saurus until after you're done painting them, since they are completely separate from the Saurus body that is wielding them. And lastly, the Kroxigors. These can be assembled as either Kroxigors or Kroxigor Respawned. Each have their own war scroll, so you'll want to decide which type of Kroxigor you are going to build first. Note that the Kroxigors wield these Drake Bite Mauls, and one wields a Moonstone Hammer, while the Respawned wield what are called Drake Fang War Picks, and one wields a Starfang War Pick. The specialty weapon that 1 in 3 models can use, the Moonstone Hammer for the Kroxigors and the Starfang War Pick for the Respawned, is undoubtedly better than the regular weapon because it has better hit stats and better damage. So there is absolutely no reason not to make sure one is carrying that weapon. Past that, the options you have are for looks only. Each body has at least 2 different poses to choose from, and the Kroxigors have 2 different head options. The Respawned have 1 head option. There are 5 different tail end options that can go on any model, and the 3 different weapon ends can go on any of the staff poles. This model here, I found you had to really push the head into the neck for it to fit, but otherwise everything comes together really smoothly. I did find myself using a fair bit of glue to clean up join lines, but all of these models had a lot of thought put into where they attach so they would hide the join lines as much as possible. I was just being particular. 2 of the models have a couple different pieces each to stand on, and altogether there are 3 tiny fully done frogs that you can add to their base, and they are adorable. I'm saving them, I think. I'm not sure yet. I think they are such a great little detail. There are also some amulet options to further change up the models. You can easily get multiples of these kits, particularly if some are going Respawned, and make the models look different. I love all of these kits. I'm so pleased with these new models. Here's a look now at all of the new Seraphon models that have come out, at least semi-recently. The Hunters of Huanchi, which are the chameleons, come from Warcry, and then the blue ones come from Underworld, and there's some skinks in there with a Starpriest that comes from Underworlds too, I believe. And then we have the other models just recently come out within the Seraphon army set, though I did alter the Slan Starmaster just a little, don't know if you noticed. But otherwise, these are all 2023 models, and I really like the look of all of them. Thanks for watching. Make certain to like if you enjoyed the video. Make certain to comment below if you had any questions or you had a particular Seraphon model that you're super excited to be painting. I really like the look of these new Seraphon models. What do you think of them? My favorite is still going to be the Kroxigor, so those will be the ones I'm painting up first. I just have to decide the most difficult question. What color scheme am I going with? Should I do Kroxigor scales? I mean, but they're so pretty. I'm thinking there's gonna be some sparkle because they're celestial lizards. So it's a tough choice. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Thank you, patrons, for all of the support that you have been given the channel. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the new YouTube subscribers. You are the best. That could be what I do. Just Kroxigor scales, because I do like that turquoise. It's very pretty turquoise. Kroxigor scales with the lighter turquoise, which not... I have to think about it. I have to think about it hard because I want them to be gorgeous, but also sparkly. I think I might brush on a little bit of one of the Turbo Dorks. I've got a whole bunch of fancy cows up there. Turbo Dork colors on top of what I do so that they've just got a tint of sparkle to them. Or I could make it look like the inside their crevices is starlight. That would be a lot harder. A lot harder. I might just have to go easy on myself and just make them slightly sparkly. I don't know. Rainbow Roll is a really neat one too. I could do that on their talons. Oh, the choices. Oh, if you haven't seen Laser Plants by Gamers Grass, those would probably be really cool on some Seraphon bases. I like them a lot. I will be using them, so I guess you'll check that out when I do that. I am painting these. It's happening. It's happening. Okay, bye.